How's it going, everyone? I hope you're all doing well. And if you know me, then you'll know that I have tried a lot of Apple products over the years. Like, a lot of Apple products, virtually all of them. Except for one elusive accessory. I've never tried an official Apple case. Until the other day, that is. I was browsing the window of my local CEX. I saw they had a leather iPhone 12 Pro case, and that made me curious. Are they actually any good, or are they just another expensive accessory with an Apple logo? Okay, so what cases do Apple actually sell? Well, they have the leather cases like mine, a clear case, which is, well, a clear case, and a silicone case. All of these cases do have MagSafe compatibility, which is nice, and these cases range from $49.99 for the clear case and the silicone model to $59.99 for the leather case. Now, there are some exceptions to this, namely with the iPhone SE, you can get one of those for $35, but generally, these are pretty expensive cases. I got mine at a good deal, but had I paid full price, this would have been by far and wide the most expensive phone case I have ever bought. Following on, let's talk about the design and the build quality. And this is where Apple started to win me back just a little bit. Everything about this case just screams Apple, not just the price tag. Everything is very precision cut. This thing is engineered to an absolute T. The cutouts for the buttons, speakers, and chargers are so precise that the slight screw overhang on the charger is literally symmetrical, which is kind of cool. You also get a thin little view of the bezel showing your iPhone color. In my case, this is silver. And it's touches like this that remind you that you are using an Apple product. The camera is also perfectly flush with this case too, and while we will actually be talking about that later in terms of the overall protectiveness, again, this does just add to the overall premium feeling of this iPhone case. Another thing I really love about this case design is the buttons, namely how they don't really reduce tactility all that much when you have this case on. I mean, sure, it reduces the clickiness just a little bit. Overall, it's pretty solid in that regard. Like, they don't feel mushy like they do on a lot of other cases, which is always nice because there's nothing that quite drags down the overall feel of a case like mushy buttons. And again, the fact that they're cut so neatly does help this case feel much more premium. In terms of build, mine is leather, and it does have a few scratches on, which is a shame, but again, this will vary greatly based on the material you get. I imagine this is probably the most fragile due to the nature of leather, but other than a few scratches, this thing is built pretty well. Next up, features. In terms of protection technology, this case really doesn't have anything fancy. I mean, the mouse cases do have that AeroShock technology to help absorb impacts, but this doesn't really have anything like that. It's very thin, and in terms of the overall protective tech, it doesn't really have any. So yeah, no shock absorber, nothing like that. This case does, however, have MagSafe compatibility, which is Apple's fancy wireless charging system that's different to regular wireless charging, apparently. I don't really know how it works. I don't have one. All I really know about it is it uses magnets and you can charge your phone without a cable. And yeah, this case is compatible, which is nice. That said though, for an expensive case, this thing is kind of light on the features. Like, as I said, no shock absorber, no fancy protection technology. It is a very simple, albeit beautiful case. But how protective actually is this phone case? Before we get into it, obviously, I can only really speak about the leather case from my perspective, but generally the consensus online is that the leather cases are the least protective cases from Apple, which of course is worth noting quickly. There is a slight overhang on the screen and the camera is flush, so chances are if you are on a flat surface and you have a habit of dragging your phone towards you, you're not going to scratch your phone with the case on, which is nice. The back is also covered, which means that you will be less likely to crack and scratch it, but in terms of cracks, probably not by a lot. There is so little padding that the likelihood of this thing stopping a crack or shock damage may not be all that likely, to be honest, and I would be very hesitant to drop this thing from a height. Honestly, to me, this case seems like more of a scratch protector rather than a crack protector, because while the majority of my iPhone 12 Pro is covered by this case, again, it just lacks anything to really absorb those big hits. It might stop something like a crack from dropping your phone onto a small stone, but from a height, this thing is probably not going to do all that much. And for someone like me who drops my phone almost every single day, unfortunately, this makes this case unusable as a daily driver for me. Now, I have actually looked around, namely on Reddit, to find other people's experiences, and generally people actually really like them. Now, obviously, I can't verify this. I can only essentially read other people's testimony, but generally people have said they were pretty damn protective, which is shocking to me. One user said they've been using a leather case since the iPhone 5S and had no issues with it whatsoever. However, another user said they dropped their phone from about a meter and now they have a dent in the corner of their phone. So that doesn't fill me with total confidence, and therefore, while it is cool to hear other perspectives on these phone cases, I'm gonna stand by what I said. This probably isn't protective enough for me to daily drive. That said though, me, I drop my phone a lot. I am not very coordinated. So I've just accepted that I need to use a bit of a stronger case on my phone. If you're more coordinated though, and you don't drop your phone as much, then your situation will probably be different. But as I said, for me, while this case looks stunning, I love the leather finish, I love the precision cuts, I probably still wouldn't want to rely on this case every single day. Fun fact though, I actually do drop my phone significantly less when I'm using one of these squared off iPhones. I don't know, for some reason they're just more grippy to me, and that is another unspoken benefit of using a case. It is more grippy. Like, chances are holding something covered in glass, not exactly the most grippy material, but something like leather or silicone does mean you are less likely to drop your phone in the first place. Alright, so to summarize, who should buy one of these cases? Well, if you really enjoy the engineering on these cases, so you think it looks really nice and you do want your phone to have a little bit of extra customization with a leather case or maybe some light cracks, then this could be a really decent case, albeit a very expensive one. Unfortunately though, as I said, I don't think this case is for me. So yeah, very cool, albeit expensive case for those who are a bit more coordinated than I am. Alright guys, so that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Let me know, by the way, what do you think of the Apple cases? Have you tried one? Are you wanting to try one? Are you using one right now? Feel free to let me know in the comments. I always enjoy reading those. As for now though, as always, thank you for watching. Remember to like the video if you want to see more content like this, then smash that subscribe button. I'm done for now, and I will see you guys in the next one.